Hi everyone. So I think as some of you may have remembered, I made a new story on my channel called Toon World. And well, I just recently finished it, so I probably would recommend if you go check it out, because today I'm doing a new subject on my channel called How I Came Up With It. Now in this series, I talk about like what got me into making like this story and all that, and like maybe I bring up a few facts or maybe how I came up with a few ideas and all that. So yes, so I thought, why not I talk about it? So I thought maybe I talk about a few things about the series first. So I actually thought of this series, like I wanted to create like a series that would involve like characters, like, I don't know, original ideas, but I don't know, somehow my brain just kept thinking, add characters you know. You know what? Fine. I'm like, and I was ignoring it, but it kept happening. So I thought, okay, fine. So, yeah. So, of course, I got to work and I created, a bunch of stories and decided to call the series Toon World, which focuses on a bunch of characters from shows I like and some shows that some of you might like, because I do in fact plan to include characters that I don't really have an interest in, but I know maybe some of you love them. So yeah, I hope you look forward to see them, but I won't tell you who's gonna appear, because spoiler alert, and I want it to be a complete surprise. So yeah, so there's going to be like a bunch of other stories involving like, Danny, Twilight, Spike, and the PD crew. Although there might be times it will just be Danny, Twilight, and Spike, because the PD crew don't really have that many roles. I mean, they're just there for some reason. And who knows what they might team up with. Like, well, most of the time they might. But besides, I guess, all other, characters from shows, I also do plan on including, some original characters I've created, which you will see in the near future. I can't wait to show them. In fact, here's a funny thing. I've been thinking about some of the ideas that I want to do with the characters and thinking, oh my god, I want to work on a story. But I'm like, no, I'm not done yet. I need to get to the other stories first, and then I'll do that. So yeah. And also, besides that, I also do plan on making a few prequels, stories as well, that may appear in between most stories. Like basically it will be a pattern. Like I'll do a story, and then it's a prequel story, and then it's another story. Well, some of them may, although not all of them may have prequels though. But yes. So yeah, I thought I, bring that up. So I thought maybe talk about some facts. I bring up about this. And I thought I start with the first one, which I bet a lot of people who watch Planet Dolan have been questioning. Like, why does Hellbent have a daughter in this story, and is she like an original character? Let me explain. So to some of you who have been thinking, oh, Hella's probably an original character Sumner thought of, well, here's your answer. No, she is not. She is actually originally from a Planet Dolan video. Well, a Super Planet Dolan video to be exact. I believe, and I think if some of you don't really know it, it's titled Dropping Things and They're Just Gone. And that video featured Hellbent constantly dropping things, and pretty much the song that's in the video mentions he has like a daughter. Although to be fair, when I watched that video, I didn't really think much of it and figured, meh, they probably just add that in for the heck of it. It's probably not even canon. So yeah, but But then I guess a few months after, getting into them, I started looking at, fan art, and well, I stumbled across 2 photos of Hellbent with his daughter. And, well, somehow I grew to like the idea. Although there weren't really that many photos. Like, I only managed to find 2. And one with her, with the PD crew. In fact, here's one thing I want you to do. If you have Twitter or Instagram, could you please, if you are an artist, can you please draw a photo of Hellbent with his daughter? Like, and maybe, like tag me on Instagram or Twitter, because I would appreciate that. Like, here, just go to the description down below, and you can find, my social, the names of my Twitter and my Instagram, because I would love to see your fan art of Hellbent and Hella. And speaking of which, maybe I should mention, how I gave her the name. So when I looked at when I saw one of the photos of Hellbent and his daughter, someone actually mentioned in the comments saying that she should have a name, but it wasn't the name I gave her because, well, I didn't want to steal someone else's idea, and I didn't really know how to pronounce it, so I went with Hella. Also, have you guys noticed that both of their names are actually words used in sentences? In fact, here, I can bring up one. So when I first started watching Planet Dolan, and I guess I watched a lot of videos with Hellbent narrating, the whole time I kept hearing his name, I thought, that sounds like that quote in all the movies, like, I'm hell-bent on the world, like, that the villain always says, is that like where he got it from? But then I don't know, a few months later, I watched like their live Q&A, that they had on, and I remember someone asking how they got their names, and Hellbent, I guess, answered by saying, I found mine in the dictionary. I think that's what I remember hearing from watching their Q&A live stream. But yeah. But how I came up with the name Hella, well, I just thought of it because, it just sounded like a good name. I thought, you know what, fine, Hellbent, Hella. Like, it just works. It just works. Now, although another thing I bet you all want to know, how did I come up with her personality? Well, I was kind of thinking about, like, remember when I did a fanfiction review on one of my PD fanfics? Well, you guys may remember Hella's very first appearance was actually in my first PD fanfic where Danger Doll was like doing that little behind the scenes video, introducing the crew and whatnot. So, yeah. Oh yeah, so pretty much I actually just thought about how she would be portrayed. I thought, you know what? Hellbent, the way he's portrayed, I mean, he's mean, evil, and not so very nice. And I don't think he doesn't really take S from anyone. And I don't think he would give an S about, how he raises his daughter. So I think maybe, he would spoil her to bits, like giving her everything she wants and, never saying no to her. And pretty much being so used to never being said no to, that if anyone said no to her, she screamed so loudly she wouldn't hear the end of it. That was my voice of her, by the way. You guys like that? Yep. Okay. So, I think that's all I gotta say about, Hella and all that. So, I thought maybe I just move on with the whole idea of this series. So I actually, so the first story, I remember thinking about it because I thought, I want to use it. Besides, it's perfect. So, so yeah. Yeah, and I pretty much, well, at the time I thought of the idea, My Little Pony was in its final season, and I was thinking, yeah, I think I want, yeah, you know what, I think I'll make it when Friendship is Magic ends. And and wouldn't you know it, I actually did. And I was going, and pretty much at the time I was also going to change my name to some Nerd Geek once it ended, but I realized that there were a lot of but pretty much when I wanted to start doing Nostalgic Friday, I realized, oh, you know what, this probably won't end until like October or something. I think I'm going to just, you know, start Nostalgic Friday early and then, you know, work on Toon World when, you know, when I get the chance. So, yeah, so there's like so many things I could have just brought up like, and all, so yeah. Okay, so there's actually one thing I think I do want to bring up that I think a lot of you have been asking, and that's something like, why don't all the characters, like, you know, age? Like in fact, like, here, I can bring one thing. Danny in the story is still 14. Yeah, that's right, I said it. I'm like, what? But it takes place 14 years. Why? But you said the story takes place 14 years ago. Why is he still 14? Also, why hasn't Twilight aged when... Also, why did Twilight use an age spell on her friends and Spike? Well, I actually thought of this idea with that I guess Toons can age whenever they want to. Like, if they're ready to, like, you know, make a decision, like, you know, move on, or maybe start a revival, or I don't know, a sequel to their series, then they finally have the chance to age. Or maybe some are ready to die. Yeah, I know that pretty much took a dark turn. I mean, come on, we had some shows where characters have died, right? Yeah. Yeah, I know that's probably one of the saddest moments in an episode to happen. Oh God. I mean, don't you just feel bad for the main characters who lose someone, like probably like a close friend or family member? Ugh. God. I mean, that's like so sad, but I would never cry over that part. I mean, sure, it would be sad, but I wouldn't cry. And you want to know why? Well, I don't really cry at sad moments, but I do feel an emotion. It doesn't mean I have no soul or anything. I do. I just feel emotional. Just not, you know, cry. You know, the cry feeling of it. So, yes. Yeah, so yeah. Oh yeah, so pretty much, yeah, so, but hey, you know what? In fact, you know what? I'm gonna be honest, I'm actually thinking of making, you know, a sequel series, you know, after Toon World. I mean, I only have like 11 stories in mind. I don't know, because I just want to make sure if I have any other ideas in hand before, you know, maybe I move on. So, yes. So, yeah. I guess that's pretty much what I have to say. Okay, maybe there's also another thing I would like to point out about the Planet Dolan crew. Why do only the narrators, like, you know, the characters who narrated videos, you know, only get lines? Well, hey, it's okay. I mean, some other characters who don't really talk much had lines too, but my reason for that is because, well, there's so many of them. I can't really, like, you know, use them all. I mean, some of them can have speaking roles, but yes. So, pretty much, well, yeah, I just thought of it because I thought, why not? Oh yeah, and also another thing you may notice was there a few of the references, like maybe me mentioning, like maybe in the last chapter, you know, home, where they mention in the, I guess, chapter 4, yeah, whatever chapter it was, I mean, where you know where they mention the butt temple, which is, you know, from the end of Doopy, from the end of Doopy video by Super Planet Dolan. Oh my god, yeah. And well, another thing, I mean, I managed to keep everyone, you know, all in character, and I guess included a few things along with a few shippings in hand. I mean, you got Dolan and Gooby together, and there's a little bit of Nixium and Melissa here and there, and yeah. But I bet you're all wondering, why are Doopy and not Paprika, Pecan, I can never say her name right. Pecan, maybe just Pecan. Pecan? That's all. That's how I could just pronounce it. Why are they all in the same place? I mean, come on, I know. I'm aware of what Doopy did. But I decided to keep her in because, you know, I mean, I've seen a few videos where she was used in cameos. I'm like, oh, okay, but hey, I don't really mind it. So, yeah. So, I guess, you know, that's just it. But hey, don't worry. She just goes back home. She does go back home in the end. But there might be, but she will return. But I don't know if you'll see her with the PD crew a lot. But hey, it's okay if that's what you think. So you know what? I think that's all I got for this series. So yes. So now I don't quite know when I might make the next story, but I already have a few things. Like I got the new I guess a cover for it, you know, the new cover for it, which it will be, you know, revealed. And also there's a lot of you're going to be learning a lot of cool and interesting things that might come out and all that. So, yes. So, anyways, I guess that's all I gotta say for now. So, bye-bye.